palliative medicine a special time to get to be with people and share that journey and be able to show up and be a support as they near the end of life. And as a family medicine doctor, I loved delivering babies and I loved end of life care. It's just being able to be present for these really intimate experiences where people are at their most vulnerable and ready to receive a sturdy presence. There's just so much opportunity to love people in those moments. Delivering babies and holding someone's hand for their last breath. This is the greatest job. I was paralleling birth and death. We have all these birth classes and what to expect when you're expecting. And it's just this joyous, incredible time for everyone. And then death, which it feels to me like a really natural part of life. It's in fact only roughly 50% of the population is going to give birth. I guess everyone's born. 100% is going to die. And so it feels like this sacred transition. I honestly can't say why we're so weird about this. I think about things that have affected me, maybe not like death, but loss and grief. People want to like tiptoe around. And you're like, come on, like it's here. Let's talk about it. I find it painful when with their discomfort, it feels like people take away your permission to experience it. I think there's loss and grief that's associated with death. Sometimes there's relief or all different sorts of emotions, but I think a lot of times we associate it with loss and grief. And then when people respond to these really deep and intense emotions by being like, careful, don't go into that room, then the people who are experiencing the messiness and the difficulty and intensity of those emotions feel like they have to stay in that little room alone because it's too much for everyone else. That's what I love and appreciate about this time of life as much as anything is the authenticity. It's so hard and it's so real and it's so natural. I honestly like being able to have a window into that and sometimes being able to be someone people can lean on or hold either really or metaphorically. The thing that I think is most profound and yet not profound at the same time is that death is not in and of itself profound. It's just one moment in life. It is sacred because it's normal. And sometimes there's this forced need to make meaning of every moment. No, this is just another moment of life and it's a big change. And recognizing that impacts the way that I live. I actually have seen 0 people check off all of their bucket list items, which is fascinating to me because what happens is we're like, yeah, I'm just living my life and I just want to keep living my life and it's ending. As you get closer and closer to the end, you do realize, oh shit, this is it. I'm hoping that I won't be like, oh, whoops, this is the final page. Sometimes I think that happens too, and that's okay. So many people say to me, like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I try to meet people where they're at. But a lot of times it's time to like gently laugh with them and be like, it doesn't matter if you're ready. Because it doesn't. It's so amusing to me that as people approach death, that is the, I'm not ready. It's like, okay, death doesn't care if you're ready. Like, this is what's happening to you. And we spend so much of our lives thinking that we are steering the ship. And then it's like, here comes the wind. Sorry, you thought you were steering, but you weren't. Yes, there's certainly people who are more or less ready. And also, that's like a moment by moment thing. Maybe I'm ready for this, but I wasn't ready for the pain from the bone mets. And again, like sometimes I think the people who like to me appear like most ready, they're probably not people that would say I'm ready. They're like, I don't know, I'm just here. And like, it's happening the way it's happening. The other day, said something similar to someone else, like, nobody's ready. And my mom happened to be with me, and she was like, do you remember your grandpa? It was like, oh, touche. My mom's parents, they'd been married almost 73 years, and they just weren't going to live apart. And my grandma went on hospice, and then my grandpa, who again had his own chronic health issues, he was 92 at the time, told everyone, like, if she goes, I go. Everyone's kind of like, you don't have control over that. My grandma died, and he went to her funeral, and then he didn't get out of bed the next day or ever again. He died 2 weeks after her. And it just after her funeral, he laid in bed, and that was it. So my mom was like, well, he was ready. We don't have control over the whole thing, but there's little things that we have control over, and people do choose when they can let go or when you have to find a degree of peace. I wish that we all talked about those experiences more too. Most people that we meet have had someone close to them die, but we rarely talk about that. I think it also can be poignant reminder. I think just being around and thinking about the end of life can make the rest of life more precious. Or maybe it's not even that it makes it more precious, it makes us more in tune or aware of the preciousness. This idea of this is it is really important to me. And I feel like that's a mantra that I return to. And I really do want to live like each day and each moment as if this is it. And then there's a part of me that's like, wait, but what about reincarnation? I feel like every moment, this is it. And it also goes on forever. I don't know. I don't know. My paltry little human brain cannot comprehend it, but I know it's out there. Sometimes the things we don't know are the most beautiful ones out there.